I live in the real world. I mean, everybody has to work, right? Well, my job happens to be CS, customer service. You know, solutions, relationships, and generating motivation to keep my team pumped up at night, connected to every single guest who takes the time to step into our store. This is C.T.C.S, episode number 56, Open Microphone Experience. Transition walk, the first step of a new working schedule in customer service. You know, I need this transition walk today. It really is. It's the transitioning of energy from who I am inside the recording studio to going out and being in customer service. This morning, all within a 2-hour period, I was with Mo Rocca from CBS. I spent time with the bass guitars of Mr. Bolin from Skid Row, and wrapped up my interviews this morning with actor Scott Atkins, who's in a brand new movie. And now, go stand at customer service. Go to a grocery store for 9 hours. You find yourself questioning yourself. It's like, what am I doing? And then you remind yourself that you're there to be with real people. Real laughs, real smiles, real stories. Well, this isn't how I wanted the day to start. You walk into the store and someone is wanting a refund from RIA. RIA is like Western Union. And this isn't just a normal refund. This is $2,000 worth of refund. And so we got to get every manager involved in this, and we've got to get RIA on the phone too to find out what went wrong, because it's not going to cost $2,000 out of our pocket. So it's been a rough week?
It's been a very rough week. I got attacked for cookies being price wrong. The gentleman came up front. I explained to him that the 12 count were the ones that were on sale.
Right.
And he jerked the cookies out of my hands, and I said, well, did you want a refund, or do you want to keep them? And he goes, keep them. Well, of course I want a refund. So I issued him a refund. He walked back in the store 2 hours later. Wow.
About the same cookies?
No. I was standing up front bagging, and he walked behind me, and he goes, I wouldn't let them know about that sign because I know you don't care. And so I was like, okay, all right. And then the very next morning, a guy walks in with $500 or $600 in money orders, and he goes, I want to cash them. And I go, I'm sorry, we don't cash those here. We issue them. And I go, if you go to a bank or a check cashing place, they can help you there. And he goes, oh, okay, all right, thank you. And he left. And he walks back in 20 minutes later, and he slams them down the counter, and he goes, I want these cashed. He goes, I know you guys cash them. I've cashed them here before. And I said, no. I said, but we don't. And he goes, I don't want to hear that. You're going to cash it.
Oh, God.
So I went down to the office, and I got my boss, and she came out, and she said, no, we don't. And he goes, no, yeah, you do. And she goes, no, I'm the CSM, we don't. And so he goes, okay, all right, that's all I wanted to know. And he left, and then he sat in his car, and he got on the phone, and he said, I want you to know that prepare for a racial lawsuit.
No.
And then I said, do you want to speak to the store manager? And he hung up on me. So,
wow.
Go figure.
Wow. That was definitely a rare moment. Somebody from a competing store shopping in our store, and it was fun to stand there and talk with them and compare notes about guests and where do they park and why do they park oddly and stuff like that. And we all have stories to share. And sitting down with somebody who works at a grocery store, any type of retail, I mean, the stories are so deep. And listen to them sometime. We just got word that there's a recall of the store's iced tea, and that means get it off the shelf. And that's where we're headed right now. We're headed back to the area with the refrigeration, and we're getting this stuff off the shelf because they don't tell us why it's recalled. Just get the iced tea out of here and don't get it in the hands of our guests. Tell me that recipe again with the chicken.
I just fry it, and then I put buffalo sauce on it, and then I put garlic butter seasoning on it.
So then. But that's afterwards, though, right?
Yeah, afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, and it makes it so.
And then do you eat it cold or you eat it hot?
I eat it hot.
You do? Okay.
It's really good.
The wings that Ty was talking about are called crack wings, and it was one of those where, there are so many recipes that are being shared inside our lanes every single day, and so I want to be in that place where, it's like don't sit here and tell me that you had these great wings. You have to tell me how you designed those wings, or what are you doing with your steak and stuff like that. I think it's, everybody's got a story, everybody's got a family tradition. An older gentleman comes up to customer service and he says, man, I wasn't feeling good yesterday. He says, I almost passed out in your store. And, I was lightheaded and I think they messed up with my receipt. And he says, because I can't believe that I spent $113 on, look at this list. There's hardly anything here. And he says, look at what you charged me for those crackers, $42.90. And then he started saying things about that the chicken prices were too high and he wanted a refund on that. It all came up to $74 $4.95. And new guy Bill brought up a very interesting point in the way that he said, you didn't notice this yesterday and you didn't call the store. And so, but he didn't bring that up to that. What you do is you super serve the customer. And but it's still, there's that question where we just conned. What's your gut reaction to think about that? Do you think you got 10 extra boxes of crackers?
I don't think he did. Why would anybody buy 10 boxes of crackers?
No, they'd be stale after.
But I'm disappointed that when he paid, he didn't realize. But if he's having a medical condition, then I can sympathize with that.
Right.
But then when it becomes, well, the ham wasn't rang up correctly or this wasn't rang up correctly, then I start to wonder how much of it, is he even remembering this accurately?
Right. Did they tell you why it was recalled?
No, I didn't ever see the paper. Shane went and checked his emails and had one. So
Yeah. So we've got 12 bottles off then?
they're like 16 or 18
Wow.
bottles.
Wow.
Like they literally hadn't been coming in at all, and then started coming back in, and then the minute they come back in,
That's crazy. That's crazy. Recall. Yeah. And the last time I saw a recall like that is when they did it with Jif.
Really? Oh
Yeah. Doing Western Union is so difficult at times because the way that they keep coming in, I mean, you don't know if they're not sending it to a foreign government or and especially when they talk about these countries and stuff like that. And I'm not judging anybody. It's just that you question it.
You do wonder because he's a foreign citizen who's sending money to a completely different country
that has nothing to do with him.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's coming through Western Union, and now that's the second time this week that he's sent money, and he does it 2 to 3 times a week to that same organization.
Yeah.
And it's not my business, but at the same time, it definitely raises a lot of questions.
Transition walk, day number 2. Running way behind schedule. Had some really late conversations, meetings. The meetings because I talk with people about their documentaries about aliens, or I'll talk with actors about their movies on Pure Flix, and you get really super busy into these conversations, and then what happens is time gets away. But I still have to take the transition walk. It's one of those where I'll probably walk in late today at CES because of the importance of a transition walk, and I suggest that you do it as well. Try to incorporate it into your life sometime, because you've got to be able to make that transition into who you're going to become while leaving everything else behind.
All right, so there was a guy this morning who comes in, and he came in yesterday and he tried to buy a cigar, and he was 10 cents short.
Uh-oh.
And he goes, is there anything I can do to get this cigar? And I go, man, I would help you, but I don't have any change, I'm sorry. And so he looked let down, and he left, and I felt kind of bad after he left. So he comes in this morning, and he comes to the desk, and he goes, I need to use your phone to call 911.
Really?
And I go, are you okay? And he goes, it's for myself. And I go, okay. And he gets on the phone, and I immediately tell the store manager, this guy wants to call 911. I'm letting him because I don't know what's going on. And I hear him go, what time is it? And I go, 11:29. I won't forget that time. And he wrote it down. And the first thing I thought is he getting ready to start a manifesto? Is he getting ready? You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
And it's something that people didn't think about 10, 20, 30, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And I go in the office and I'm thinking to myself, I need to go out there because what if he had a backpack?
Oh.
And the first thing I thought was, what if he starts
doing something,
a rampage?
Yeah.
And who's going to be there to stop him? It shook me for about 15 minutes.
One time I didn't pick up a basket and I saw the lady run out. So I found this over there in the aisle. This absolutely has to be a theft that was about to happen. Okay, so what we're doing is we're calling the police at this time because the guy wants us to call the police. He's got a lot of food out there. He very calmly and peacefully put the food down on the ground. And he says he'll give it all back once the police come by to pick him up. So we're on 911 even as we speak.
The same gentleman from this morning that said he needed help.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's a Friday night.
TGIF.
Right. Did they get the cookies back, or what they do?
I don't know. I was scared to keep asking.
Yeah. So the police said what?
The police said they asked all these standard questions, and then I told her that refused to leave until they could arrive.
Right.
And she started asking, does he have weapons? And I said, I don't know. I didn't see any. And so she asked me a ton of questions, and they're sending somebody. She goes, is he under the influence? And I go, no. I go, but he's not all there. He's coherent, if that makes sense. And she goes, it does. It makes sense.
Well, you read articles about this, like you said, he definitely wants the police, and he's going to do something to get the police over here.
Yeah, he's not going to eat 12 containers of cookies.
Right.
Those are soft-baked cookies. He wants, that's a felony, what he has, and the amount of merchandise he has.
Right.
So he needs help.
Transition walk, day number 3. It'll be my final day this week in customer service. The reason why is because this time tomorrow, we're going to be preparing to be on a live stage, and I love that live performance. We were doing that well before I got into customer service. I've been on that tour, you could say, for 29 years or so. So I just got off the phone with my friend in Ukraine. We've got a podcast. It's American journalist in Ukraine, Joe Lindsley. It was interesting to talk to him about the events this past week with the bombing on Monday and Tuesday. Russia just basically just beating the crap out of Ukraine, but this nation remains strong. It's just to hear it in his voice. I'd like to go back to some of the earlier episodes when the war was first breaking out to find out just how much, that he's matured. And that, I think one of the things that stuck into my head a little bit longer today was, he says, even while he dreams, he hears the bombs. Saturdays are college football days, and so everybody's got their teams on, and those colors are bright, shiny. You talk to them about, their mascots and all that kind of stuff, and you try to break that ice when it comes to creating a conversation, because once again, it's about engagement. It's about making sure that they come here to have a full experience. We had a guest that was doing Western Union. She's from Ecuador, no English whatsoever. I don't know Spanish, and so, but here was the thing that made it really interesting. She wrote everything down right in front of me in English. I had never experienced that before. We could not speak with our vocals, but we spoke to each other through writing. Blew me away. So you think
on the red car.
You think he's dead or he's sleeping?
He might be sleeping, but he's definitely out cold.
The window's open at all? Yeah. He could be sleeping.
It could be, but
I'd rather find out.
Yeah. Hold up next to him while I go shit.
Which car is it?
This one.
Oh, that brown one? Could be. Hi, we're just checking on you, sir. Everything okay? Hey now. Sir? Sir, we're just checking to find out if you're okay. You're okay? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, excellent. Thank you, sir. Had to quickly come into the restroom, and the reason why is because a man up at customer service from out of nowhere says, I'm very sick. I've got a huge fever, and we're looking right at him, and all at once everybody in customer service steps back 3 steps, and so I got to get this. We're in COVID season again. We're in the flu season, and they come that close to us at customer service. So you got to get cleaned up.